Hello, everybody. Good morning. This is attorney Deifilia Diaz. We're going live in English. Normally, all of our audience, it is in Spanish, but right now, on Fridays, we're gonna be speaking in English. So good morning, everybody. I know that you're used to hear me in Spanish, but right now we're gonna be speaking in English because on Fridays, I wanted to start serving the immigrants that do not speak Spanish. And we are gonna be serving the immigrants that speak English, or they wanted to get information in English about the U visas. So welcome. We are recording for our channel in YouTube that it is only in English. Sadly, we cannot still go live because we need 100 subscribers to be able to go live. So if you're watching me right now in our channels that we only speak Spanish, please go to the YouTube Valencian Diaz Attorneys and hit the subscribe button. So it will help us tremendously. And thank you very much, everybody here that it is in the YouTube channel. If you are wondering why I'm speaking in English, it's because Fridays are going to be in English, okay? So we're going to be talking about why the U visa is taking so long, why the U visa, what we can do right now to speed up the process with the U visa, how we can get information about our U visa process, and if we can sue the federal government in federal court to accelerate the U visa, right? So I am Deifilia Diaz. For the ones that do not know me and they're hearing me for the first time, my name is Deifilia Diaz. I am an attorney. I represent victims of crime. I have been an attorney for 10 plus years. I am an immigrant as well, such as you. If you're listening at home, I immigrated to the United States 20 plus years ago. I did law school here in the United States and in Mexico, so I did it twice. I have the license to practice in the state of Kentucky, Ohio, and the federal court in Southwestern District Court of Ohio, and also licensed in Mexico. So, and I practice primarily in U visas, victims of crime, BAWAs, Ts, SIJS, and general immigration. So let's dive into the topic of today. So why my U visa is taking so very long, and what are the processing times for the U visa? And the first question is why the U visas are taking so long. It is just basically because there is not enough personnel with USCIS to actually go and advocate and adjudicate these cases or review these cases. That is just what is happening. It is happening for other cases. It's just not the U visas that they are just in the forgotten land. All the cases with USCIS is taking a long time. However, the U visas, they were taking long time, and after the pandemic hit, we had some other things that just made us go slower. And after the pandemic was over, we're still having some repercussions of hiring the right officers, training the right officers, and so forth, so on. So that's not gonna go in the near future. That's something that we are gonna continue having. So we have to prepare and we have to know what to do with the cases when they're taking so long. The processing times right now for the U visas are all over the board. Before December 2023, normally I was able to say, well, right now USCIS is reviewing the cases in this year. They are just sitting down, the officers are just sitting down and reviewing the cases that are in this year. However, in December 2023, we hit a boom of bona fide determinations. And I will explain in a little bit of what are the bona fide determinations. So they hit a boom of bona fide determinations, and we saw an explosion of decisions of bona fide determination across the board. So they were not only reviewing the cases on 2018, we saw determinations of 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and even 2023. So the latest cases where I have received the bona fide determination, the approval for the work authorization permit, it is October 2023. And I joke with my clients because I'm like, okay, well, you have to play the lottery, tell me what is the water that you're drinking, because certainly something, you have the right energy or the right luck, because they only took like a couple of months for this client. So we are seeing that across the board. It is just not a specific year. So right now it is very difficult to predict or to tell a client how long it's gonna take for that person to receive the EAD. And EAD is employment authorization document, okay? The work permit, how long it's gonna take. Now, since 2021, immigration, USCIS, took a different route the previous years. In 2021, immigration said, well, we have a long list of cases to review in U visa. So we are gonna start making a new determination, a new revision, and that's called the prima facie determination, okay? Which is only for the officers to review if the primary evidence, it is included, it is filed. And what is the primary evidence that the officers are seeking? So certainly it is the 918. That is the form. The 918 is the form for the U visa for the principal. It has to be filed. Second of all, it is a certification. The certification is a signature from the officer, the chief of police, the judge, or the prosecutor that it is confirming that the victim, it is the applicant, and that the victim cooperated with that investigation, the prosecution of that crime. Okay, the certification. And the certification has to be valid. What that means, it cannot be expired. The certification expires 6 months after the signature. So when it's filed, it cannot be past 6 months of that signature. Third, it has to be including an affidavit. What is an affidavit? It is a declaration from the applicant saying, okay, my name is Efilia Diaz, I was born here, this is my date of birth, and I was victimized. I was a victim of a crime, and narrating, telling the officer what happened when you were a victim of a crime. How did you help the police, the prosecutor, the judge for the investigation or prosecution, okay? And how did you suffer either mentally or physically? So that has to be included in that affidavit. And fourth, and the most important one, it is that you are gonna be passing the scrutiny of the revision of your criminal background. So that means that immigration will see what the fingerprints gave us as a result, and they're gonna see if you are posing or giving a threat to the US community. That means that if you have any arrest for domestic violence, any assault, human trafficking, or could be also possession or distribution of any substances. So, and they're not gonna go and deep dive in whether or not you were found guilty. Only with the arrest. Immigration said, if I see any arrest of any applicant that initially see that it can pose a threat to the community, then we are not going to approve the bona fide determination. So that is a revision. That is superficial review of the initial application. Once they pass the initial review, then they are going to go with the derivatives. The derivatives, in each case, they can be very different. It can be the spouses, it can be the children, it can be even the siblings, right? So when they're reviewing the derivatives, they're going to review also if they have filed the 918A, which is the form for the derivatives, and if they have filed the evidence that goes with that application, which is the link, the relationship where you're proving that that person is related to the principal. So if we're talking about a spouse, they're gonna want to see if there is a marriage certificate, or if it's a child, they wanted to see the birth certificate, okay? And also that all the derivatives, they're gonna have to pass the study that immigration will do on the criminal background, and it will apply the same for the principal. Okay, so having said that, that is the prima facie determination, right? So this is that the first review that immigration is giving, and if you pass that determination, then they're gonna give you and place you in a list, and that is the prima facie determination. That is the bucket that they're gonna place you there and issue an employment documentation authorization, but only if you have applied for that EAD. So the key here, and what I tell everybody in all the social media platforms in Spanish, it is that you have to make sure that your attorney has filed an employment authorization application C14. So it is not the same that the category apply for the U visa. Everybody has to have a C14 application for the EAD, for the work authorization document. Otherwise, immigration will not issue the EAD. So you can have the determination of prima facie determination. You can have had the review, the initial review, but immigration, it will not issue that work authorization automatically if you do not have that application filed with immigration. So if you have a U visa case filed, it is very important that you go and see and review your receipts. You have to have the following receipts: the 918, which is the principal, or 918A if you're a derivative. Then you have to have the 765, and the 765 is the work authorization document. Okay, and that you can have it for different categories. So make sure that you have it for 820 if you're a derivative, C14 for the deferred action placement, and then it comes the waiver. And the waiver, it is a form 192, and the waiver, it is filed. Most of my clients will need a waiver, and that's for the violations of the immigration law. So having said that, so that is how you can get the EAD, the work authorization document. It was estimated that it will be more rapidly, more expeditiously, but we have not seen that they are moving faster than before. So the question comes whether I can sue the federal government in federal court. So suing USCIS in federal court. And the answer is, of course, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. It is advisable of doing it, of course, but please talk to your initial attorney of record on the U visa first. Do not just blindside your initial attorney. Why? Because it's very important to vet the case, to review the case, to see if the case is a good case to take it to federal court. So right now I'm working on a project with an attorney in Texas, and what we're doing, it is actually reviewing the U visa, even though that I do not file the U visa cases, reviewing those U visa cases to see if the certification is not expired, if everything is completed before suing the federal government. Because if you sue and the suit, it is successful, then if you are missing something in the evidence filed with immigration, then immigration will turn and issue a request for more evidence that is called an RFE, request for more evidence. And if they request for more evidence, then you have to answer it. Then they will take like at least 60 days to return the decision to you. So it will be longer. It will be dragging the decision. So therefore, that's why I'm saying we have to review it before going to federal court. Suing in federal court, it adds some challenges. So it has some challenges because not all immigration attorneys, we practice and we litigate immigration court. So it has been now that immigration attorneys, we have to know, because the immigration government, the immigration department, it is taking so long. So we have to learn a little bit more about the federal litigation to actually help our clients. So the attorneys that litigate in federal court, normally they are litigating other type of cases and do not have immigration cases. So, but now we are seeing that the two worlds are colliding, and we have to learn from each other, correct? And it is very difficult also because if you have a license in the state, for example, Ohio, that doesn't mean that I can go and file a case in Utah in the federal court, even though that I have a license in Ohio in the federal court in Ohio, because the Utah court will ask me for a license in Utah. And there is many courts, so many states have many federal courts within that state. And each one of those federal courts will ask you for a license to file a case in that court. So it gets very complicated in the terms of how to get access to that federal court. So that is one of the challenges. The other challenges, it is finding an attorney that that knows about the U visa process and also litigating the U visa in litigating federal court. How long will it take if I file a suit in the federal court? Normally, it can take 30 to 60 days. So it has to be fast because you are complaining with a federal court that is taking so long for USCIS to give you an EAD, to give you a work authorization document, right? So how long do you have to wait before you sue the federal government? And normally it's advisable to wait at least 1 year, because one of the reasons where you're telling the judge, the federal judge, it is immigration is taking so long and is to issue a work permit to actually do what they are supposed to do, that it is recommendable to just wait at least 1 year, okay? We have talked about where do you have to file a suit. But we have not talked about what would happen, who will receive the EAD, who will receive the work authorization document if it's issued and the suit, it is granted and it works. Well, the attorney that is bringing the federal suit will not receive the work authorization document. The person that it will receive the work authorization document, it will be the attorney that filed the U visa. Okay, so that's why I started the conversation saying it's very important to have a conversation with the attorney that filed the U visa for you, because otherwise he's not going to know what is happening. Okay, there's another way that it doesn't involve suing the federal government, where you can expedite your case, and that it is a request for expedited acceleration that is filed with USCIS directly. It has been more difficult that USCIS is granting this request. When USCIS starts saying that they will entertain and accept requests for acceleration based in humanitarian need or financial hardship or humanitarian hardship, they were granting most of them, but right now it is getting more difficult to actually have them grant one of these expedited requests. So if you wanted to file an expedited request, that's fine, but just make sure that you have a lot of evidence and submitting a lot of evidence, and you are qualifying for the substantial hardship, otherwise they're gonna deny it. In order to file a suit against the federal government, you don't have to first go through the expedited request. It's not required. You can just jump and fast track your suit and file the complaint against the federal government. And that's all. That's everything that I have for you today. I'm gonna be answering some questions that I'm receiving here in the chat. I wanted to say that nothing that I have said in this live is actually a substitution for legal advice. It is just informative. It is for educational purposes, and you have to go with an immigration attorney to make sure that you are telling that immigration attorney all your life, all your facts of the case, so actually you can have legal advice. So this is not legal advice. If you want to call Valencia Diaz, we will welcome you and we will be happy to have you. The telephone number is 513-618-2005. And everybody is coming here and seeing that I'm in a live and I'm going back. Okay. Here it is just so difficult to see it in Spanish and say like it is in Spanish. I have to be speaking English, right? So Edith, thank you very much. Connie, thank you very much. Connie, it is asking to go out with parole in advance, what the officers can ask you when you are coming back. She's actually asking me if when you are applying for the green card, the adjustment of status. So let me put my glasses because the letters are moving. So when you're applying for a green card, that is called adjustment of status, after you got the U visa, you are eligible. After 3 years, you are eligible to file for adjustment status, okay? And within that process, you can file for the green card, you can file for a new EAD, work authorization, but also you can apply for an advanced parole, which is a permission to travel while the case is pending. And Connie is asking, what would the officer ask you when you are coming back? It depends on the officer, and it depends also in your immigration history or criminal history. So normally they will ask you, how long did you stay outside of the United States? What was the purpose of your visit? Are you traveling, or do you buy any tobacco or alcohol? Normally that will be the easy peasy questions. The second revision, if you have a second screening, then they will take all the documents and they will page an officer and they will send you to a room for the second screening. They will ask you probably what is the process that you are filing, what is the process or the immigration relief that you are seeking, and then you say a green card. I was a U visa holder, and right now I'm pursuing my green card. Pamela Puak dice, how you learn English like that? So I in the school, and not being afraid of speaking English. So I am actually pushing myself to be here in English. I wouldn't say that it is all the times I'm not afraid. I am afraid, but we speak even though that we are afraid. We do things with, even though that we are fearful, even though that we are sad, even though that we feel like crying, we still do the things despite the fear, despite that we are sad. So I learned English since I was in school, and I have always had English classes. And when I moved to the United States, well, I went to school and I had to do it. I still have an accent. I would not say that there's sometimes that, yes, my accent, they will just baffle people, and I don't care. The point it is, I don't care, and you still do it. So if I can do it, such as you. Thank you. Familia Pac, how long the T visa is taking 2024? So the T visa, it is taking to adjudicate. The T visa is for trafficking victims. It is 1.5 years. So it is way less than the U visa, right? Daniel, I am processing a visa, or can I help my husband? Well, you need a consultation. I don't know what type of visa you're talking about. If you are, what you're asking me, it is you are in a process right now and you want to include your husband, and if that is the case, you need a consultation. You need to schedule a consult with an attorney. 513-618-2005 if you want to call Valencia Diaz. El Chicharrón, okay? Can you please speak more slowly? I'm just learning English. For sure, I will try to speak more slowly, for sure. Thank you very much for your comments. In Spanish, I speak also very fast, so I tend to go, I wanted to go to the same speed, but thank you. Abigail, hello, good morning. I got my parole in advance through applying for my green card through the U visa, but my derivative has not arrived. It said that it was sent, but it has not arrived. Just wait. Sometimes with the mail, it's taking more time than normally. I have seen sometimes that it has taken more than 4 weeks for us to receive the document, even though that in the website it says that it was issued or approved. Okay, I know that there are difficult times and you want to have it immediately, but let's be patient. Juan Carlos Gonzalez, good morning. Thank you. Greetings from Seattle. Cristina Macias, good morning. Do you think that I will get the approval for the U visa if my case was filed in January 2020, in January 2017, I have the C-14? That's the other one. That's the question that I joke with you guys, and I said that is the $1 million question. Why? Because everybody's asking if I will get the U visa. There is a limit. There is a cap by the federal law that the U.S. government can only grant 10,000 U visas per year. So right now that cap, it is in 2016, in the last 6 months of 2016. So question here from Christina, it is I filed in January 2017. Do you think that I'm gonna be able to get one of those U visas? Because I need one to start counting my time to apply for the green card. And the answer is I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. Although some of my colleagues are saying that they have seen approval from 2017, I have not. So my guesstimation it is that all the U visas are gonna be given the 10,000 of this fiscal year are gonna be given for the last 6 months of 2016. Mohamed applied for a U visa in 2018, got my bona fide determination in September 2023. The letter stated that due to the insufficient visa numbers, they put me on a waiting list. When can I expect my U visa status? Well, if you apply for 2018, if you file the application 2018, I think that is gonna be at least 4 years more, at the very least. Carlos Galan, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comment. Cristina Macias, hoy es en inglés. Yes, today is in English. CM Family Channel, nicely explained day. Thank you very much. You're so kind. Salvador Flores, good morning. Can you please tell me if the forms for the EAD are gonna change? So all the forms in immigration have an expiration date. That is a very good question. That is something that I wanted to talk about yesterday and I forgot. So the 919 is also gonna expire and we have other forms that they're gonna expire. So the expiration date that they put there, it is for them to update the forms. Some of them, they will change. Some of them, they will remain the same and they will just update the expiration date. So the answer is we don't know, but if it has an expiration date coming up, then you have to use the new form, otherwise it's gonna be rejected. Judy Eck, my daughter turns 21 and received SSI. I entered with a tourist visa and never left. Now I have bona fide since January 2024 for the U visa. Now that I am working legally, will I need a sponsor? Okay, very good question. If you're applying for a U visa, a T visa, a VAWA, or SIJS, or even asylum, you do not trigger the public charge inadmissibility ground. So the immigration will not study whether or not you're a public charge in the United States. So you will not need a sponsor. The immigrant that it will trigger the examination whether or not they are a public charge, they will need a sponsor. But here, if you're applying for a U, you don't need a sponsor. You don't need to file a financial sponsor. Abigail, thank you. You missed me in Spanish. Yesterday I was here in Spanish. I know. There is a different personalities, right? That comes with the languages. In Spanish, I'm more flamboyant probably, just because it's just more me, because I was born in Spanish. But in English, I'm gonna try to just keep my personality, but I'm just very, very much cognizant of speaking loud and opening my mouth, so I'm pronouncing correctly. So probably I am not the same, but in deep down, is just the same. Ray Barbosa, what year applications are approving for the U visa and placing with the waiting list? So right now, as I said, they are all across the board. They're all the years. However, if you have filed a U visa in September 2018 or before, September 2018 or before, and you have not heard anything, it is time for you to file an inquiry. An inquiry, it is an email through your legal representative, through your attorney. It's an email that your attorney should be able to write in a heartbeat and asking about the status of the case. Why? Because immigration is saying if you file before September 2018, you can send me an inquiry, okay? Here, TikTok, yeah, everybody that is here, they are from Latin America. Well, yes, I'm doing it in English because I'm sure that is gonna go, it's not all of them. I'm sure that somebody that speaks English is gonna be here or eventually is gonna hear the video. So, today is only in English. You can make that, you can write in Spanish and I will translate it. So it's okay. Hi, see, Daniel, Daniel is actually writing in English. Daniel, hi, good morning. I'm near the time for my U visa. I'm from December 2016. Yes, you're very, very, very close. How can I find it out if I was approved? Well, get in contact with your attorney, and your attorney should be able to tell you. Now, yesterday, I showed the crowd that I got an approval for a U visa from October 2016. So you are very, very, very close. You're in the cusp of being approved, and we will root for you. Hi, can I travel with my work permit U visa? So traveling around the United States, that's always the key question, or one of the $1 million question, right? Can I travel? Well, I will say, it depends. And it depends. It is just a very gray area, because when you go to an airport, it depends on your immigration and criminal history. There is CBP officer, which is Custom and Border Patrol in the airports, and your expectation to privacy, which means that they can ask you for your documents without any explanation or justification, is in every airport. So it will all depend. Yes, you can travel within the United States as such, so long you don't cross the borders. However, it has to be a conversation that you must have with your attorney to determine whether or not you are high risk or not. And also, I will say that sometimes, what about if the plane has to reroute and go to Mexico because something crazy happened, or it has to go to Canada, something crazy happened, or it has to go to a different country if you wanted to go all the way to Hawaii, and it lands in Mexico, it lands in another country, and coming back, you have to go through Custom and Border Patrol, and you don't have any way to prove that you have the right to come into the country. That can be an issue. When I speak English, my coworker said, you speak so fast, you are going to hurt your mouth. No, we don't, right? We don't. So can you share if I can apply a second I-130 when my I-824 is pending, looking for options? Well, it depends on your case. You need to go to an attorney and explain the case and see if it's advisable to have two I-130s, and it will be recommendable to do the spending and to just do another process with the process that is pending. I have, I don't know, that was not a question. It is only English. Please, you can also ask in Spanish and I will translate. Hello, I have a case with my cousin in a U visa. Can he petition for me if he is my cousin? No, it is not. I know it's nephew. Cousins cannot petition. That the relationship, it is not recognized for immigration, within immigration. That relationship is not, you cannot file as a derivative, even though that you are caring for that cousin or nephew. Okay, what should I do if I receive and obtain a U visa work permit and I had to leave the United States? Well, update your attorney, talk to your attorney and say, I need to go. If you receive one of the 10,000 U visas, that means that you are in a U non-immigrant status, and every single time that you're spending here in the United States, it counts for the green card. If that is the case, then you're gonna jeopardize your options to become a green card holder if you leave and you cannot come back. Now, if you are waiting for the U visa approval, then still talk to your attorney, because maybe when you get out of the country, you're gonna be triggering some immigration violations and you need to update your waiver. Okay, and a couple more. Justin Flaco, nice, thanks for letting us know. Okay, cool. Good morning, Tio Sam. Good morning, miss. After sending all the package, how long does it wait for fingerprints? It will depend. Right now, USCIS is having a lot of issues. Yeah, more than we know or we want to know, issuing the biometric notices. The biometric notices are the fingerprint notices. Sometimes such is the case and the problems that they are arriving after the date and time of the appointment. If that is the case, please contact USCIS, talk to your attorneys, and then they will reissue and reschedule that appointment. Attorney, I filed, or I went to the appointment of the fingerprints. Now what it is the next step? The next step for after the fingerprints, it is waiting until immigration reviews the case, or you can file your expedited request. As I told you, they are being more stringent about granting those requests, or if you qualify, you can file, it's called writ of mandamus, which is suing the federal government. That's it. Okay, couple more here, and I don't know if I have here in Facebook. How long is taking the VAWA for green card? VAWA for green card is taking a long time. Everything is taking a long time, at least 3 years. D. Garcia Rossi, in my application, they sent a police report. They don't want to send. Oh, they didn't want to give me the police report because they were included minor kids. What can I do for them to give me the report? So you can ask them to redact the police report. The police can redact the police report, blocking, putting a black stripe on the names of the minors, so they can give you that police report. So if I have not asked you, please give a thumbs up, interact, share the video. Please share the video. If you are watching me in English in our channel in Valencia Diaz Abogados, please subscribe, because I need 100 subscribers to go live. And if go live, that means that we can interact and it becomes more exciting, right? So subscribe, Valencia Diaz Abogados, and you're here in the normal channels, Valencia and Diaz. Please hit the button, give me a thumbs up, because it helps the algorithm and places this video in, in other people's faces that can help. And as I said in Spanish, it doesn't really matter if you call us. It doesn't really matter if you come to Valencia and Diaz. What it matters is that this information is helping somebody, and is healing somebody, and is giving hope to somebody that is just very desperate, anxious to know about the U visa process. And maybe it might help you only to know that there is, strange people that do not each another, that have not met each other, but we are connected. We are one, and maybe this will just cheer the day. They just lighten the day, and that's what we are here for, right? And last one, and then I will say bye, because I have tons of things to do today. How long, Marcia Salguero, how long does it take a case for CAM? CAM, it is a special program where it is only for kids that are in Guatemala, Honduras, and Salvador. And if it's a person, the guardian that is here in the United States and it has deferred action, an asylum pending, and so other, or green card holder, instead of bringing the kids undocumented, you can apply through CAM, and it will take several months. Okay. Segrid de La Paz, please read me. I don't know, where are you, Segrid? There is a lot of comments. Thank you very much, but I don't know, where are you? I wish that I can read all the comments. I cannot find you, Segrid. Oh yeah, I found you. Hello, attorney. My son was threatened in the patio. The neighbor shoot to the sky and threaten him. He has 9 years. Maybe the question here is whether you call the police. If that would have happened, to anybody, I would say call the police. Do just not panic and go back to home without calling the police. But the point of the U visa is that you have to call the police right there. Sometimes you can then go to the police station and file the report, but it's better if you call the police after the crime occurred. It is difficult to say call the police while the crime is occurring if you are not the witness, or you can do it. But the question is here, if you call the police. If that happened yesterday or the weekend before, still call the police. Okay? I sent my U visa application in November, but I don't have my receipts. Is it normal? It's very normal with Nebraska. So there is two processing centers that are reviewing the cases for the U visas. We have the physical centers. We have Nebraska and we have Vermont. Vermont has been the historical processing center that has been reviewing U visas. But now, after some years that Vermont cannot do it by itself, Nebraska came in and Nebraska said, well, I will help you, my friend. And Nebraska is also taking a long time. So Nebraska is also reviewing and accepting cases, and Nebraska is taking at least 5 months. So this week I received the receipts of a U visa that I filed in December with Nebraska. So maybe it is Lisette, I'm sorry. So maybe it is normal for your case, but talk to your attorney. Okay, so that is the end of this show, of this information, of this clip, of this video. If you are watching me, Valencia Diaz Attorneys, please subscribe in the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for everybody being here. I love it. I have a special place in your heart for all the people that is constantly here and cheer me up. And even though that we don't know each other, you know that I care for you deeply, and I am you, you are me. We are together and we are one. The unicity in the universe, the unicity of this universe, it is that I care for you and you will care for me as well, even though that we don't know each other. So let's see each other next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please share the video and I will see you then. 513-618-2005 if you want to call Valencia Diaz. Ciao, ciao. Bye, subscribe. Valencia Diaz Attorneys.